Welcome back to Have a Campaign, the D&D series where you can have one of my D&D campaign ideas to adapt or use as is or do whatever you want with. Today's campaign name is Of Dragons and Adventurers. So in the world of this campaign, the most numerous or plentiful non-humanoid species is dragons. There are dragons of various colors and sizes and abilities and temperaments scattered all over the world. They're everywhere. And they've become a very normal, common part of life in multiple ways. That being the case, there's also a lot of different views on the dragons. You have people who see the dragons as an ultimate good. You have people who see them as almost like deities, or they see them as helpers to be respected, or you see them as just creatures that are, out there in the world and deserve to be left to their own devices. And then on the other end, you have those groups that see dragons as bad. They see them as a great evil or a scourge. There are those that see them as simply a tool to gain power or a hindrance in gaining power. So there's a lot of conflict in the world between groups that have different ideas about what the dragons are and what they are to the humanoid races. That being the case, it's the party's goal to align themselves with a purpose. They could align themselves with one of the groups that sees dragons as an ultimate good, or they could align themselves with a group that sees them as an evil, or they could come up with their own purpose. But the goal is to fulfill a purpose in regards to the dragons. The one player stipulation I have is in regards to some of the D&D races. Dragonborns, kobolds, UNT, and lizard folk are all humanoid attempts to become more like dragons. So it was attempts by magic or science to try to get closer to being like dragons for some reason. Failed attempts because they remained as humans or humanoid, but they were attempts to try to gain the power of dragons for different reasons. One thing I really love about this campaign idea is the option to make a ton of different new dragon species. I kind of took inspiration for this one from How to Train Your Dragon, and so the party they could train dragons, they could hunt them down, they could do whatever they want in that regard. But I really like the idea of being able to create a ton of dragon species of different abilities and temperaments and shapes and sizes and all sorts of stuff to fill this world and give it life. I think it'd be really cool to see different dragons in different ecosystems and really flesh it out.